In today's episode, Gabrielle and I are going to be talking about how you can expose your inner self through your creativity. And we are also going to be talking about her love for color, how that has developed, and how color really can have a big influence in what you're saying in your work. We are also going to be talking about how you can overcome struggles through your creative process and use your creativity as a way to be able to grow and overcome a lot of frustrations and difficulties. So it's going to be a good one. Let's get into it.
Gotta get messy and show the world you growing as an artist. And you're free to be yourself. You got a dream, you need to start it. Stick together. Get messy says you're formally invited to a community where you can find people that spark the feel of excitement. Too many art supplies, not enough time. No, it's tough, and so you must find a way to feel some connection. We got a lot of people with the same kind, a great mind. We here for you, a platform so we can hear your views. Time's yours, forget yours. I know you bored of them same rules.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new Get Messy podcast episode. Today, I've got the privilege of speaking to Gabrielle, and we are going to dig into what her journey looks like and spend some time enjoying all the insights that she's got to share with us. So, Gabrielle, do you maybe want to welcome yourself to the podcast, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yes, to begin with, it's just fun to talk to you and exchange thoughts. I'm Gabrielle. I have a son and a daughter, and I live with my new boyfriend in the very south of the Netherlands. And together we have 4 children and 7 grandchildren.
Oh, that's special. Grandchildren, I think, is a special time, right?
It is. Mm-hmm. Yes, such fun, yes, to see them grow up.
Yes,
while I feel still young.
Yes,
I'm not feeling a grandmother at all, so they call me Nana.
Oh. So how did your art journey start?
Well, I always felt creative. I think that comes from the time when I was young. My mother was always creative, doing all kinds of techniques and making things. And I enjoyed watching her. I mean, it was captivating. When I came home from school, she was waiting with tea, and then we chatted about our day. And I stayed watching her creating. So that was a creative environment, I think, that really inspired. Mm. And she encouraged us to, me and my sister, to try things too. So that's what we did. And from one came the other, trying different techniques. And I loved the colors. Colors was always important to me. So it was painting, and what I enjoyed the most. I tried several things, and it changed a long time, but I always came back to painting. So that's when it started.
Your mother sounds like she was an amazing role model to have in your life.
Yes, and she still is, because she's 88, and she's still inspiring me and encourage me. She encourages me with everything I do, and she wants to know what I'm doing, and I bring my stuff to her and show what I'm doing, and she enjoyed it. She enjoys it very much.
Oh, yes. That is so special. That's amazing to have a relationship like that.
Yeah, it's an enrichment. To begin with, I feel it's an enrichment to be creative, to have the need to be creative. It feeds your soul. And yes, it's very important. Precious.
Yes. So are you, obviously, I'm sure the answer is going to be yes, but are you then bringing your grandchildren into your studio and creating along with them?
Yes, in the past I did, and now some of them have grown up and they don't want to create with me anymore. But the little ones, yes, they're 2 and 4, and well, they like drawing and just, you know, the scribbling, and well, I think it's fun. I mean, even if they don't love doing it, I always give them paper and pencils and and crayons. Yes.
Oh, so you mentioned,
remember.
yes, they will remember, right? And it'll always be sort of, you'll be connected to that creativity in their life, that spark that started their love for creating.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So you mentioned color. I always like to ask, if you could only work in one color for the rest of your art career, what color would that be and why?
Yeah, it was kind of a tricky question because I thought at first it would be pink, but then no.
I thought you would say pink. No, let's hear.
No. When I think about it now, I mean, it's. I think it's orange, and yes, we all have a favorite color, but you know that also changes throughout time. Maybe you can remember you love blue, or there was that's kind of a period. I mean, like Picasso has its periods of color. Maybe that works for everyone the same.
Yeah.
And well, I think orange is a very comforting color. It's an enthusiastic, expressive, and creative. Yes, I think it would be orange. I have nothing orange in my home, nor clothes, but to express myself, yes, I think that would be it.
I also love orange. I think, as you said, it's such a warm, comforting color. I love orange, but I love pink too. And I'm quite fascinated that you didn't choose pink. And like I expected it to be pink because so much of your work is pink. Does pink have a special kind of symbolism for you too, like orange?
Yes, of course. Yes, I think that the most important part is that it's playful. It's not, let's say, for me, it's not serious. I wouldn't paint a wall pink, or, but well, maybe in my studio one day. But it's just playful, and I feel playful all the time. I mean, it's so maybe that's it.
Oh, fantastic.
And maybe I change my mind about the playfulness, and then I think that orange would be best.
No, I love that. I love that you could surprise me with your color. So you mentioned that pink is playful, and as I said, is quite prominent in your work. So obviously the theme of being playful is something that you like to foster in your creative practice.
Yes.
So how do you go about that?
About a pink?
About staying playful and loose in your creating.
Okay, I think that then I have to explain I have an autism spectrum disorder, and it's I always have the feeling that I need to survive. I need to survive in communications, in contact with people in real life. I don't feel safe in expressing myself. And, well, to overcome that, I think I want to express who I am, really. And I sometimes say behind the scenes. So I think that's where the playfulness comes from. I like fairy tales, very childish things that I enjoy a lot. But in real life, you're not supposed to like those things. And so painting and making art journals, not the writing, but the visual part, helps me to connect with my inner self.
So how have you been able to then use your creativity to bring down these walls? Obviously, it's been a process that you've had to go through to be able to have this space where you feel like this is where I'm safe. This is where I can, as you say, move that curtain away and show who I am behind everything. How has that journey looked?
Yes, it took me a long time. I struggled since I was, when I went to kindergarten and saw these children play together. And I remember thinking, how do they do that? And for me, it was impossible to participate and to express myself in a way that was accepted by the world. And that struggle is still there. But I'm 64, so I have some life experience, and I think that's the only thing that helped me to overcome my fear, to express myself visually, to expose the things I do, to go online with workshops, and to interact with you at the moment. And I think mostly that's because I'm getting older, and that I think now okay, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? Because I took away my joy for all my life because of my autism, and not knowing how to behave, not knowing how to communicate, and it was a learning process that was very difficult in my life, yes. But I found a way.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Like, do you think that your art practice had a big part to play in you being able to find a way to express yourself?
Yes. It was the most important thing that when I experienced what it did with my inner self, and to connect with my inner self, because that was totally blocked. And I could open a door, and I still can. I still need to, because I have these screens. I mean, I need to have these screens because I always feel insecure in the outside world, and creating is for me a way to create my own world, to create my inner world where I am safe, the world that I want to live in.
Oh, I love that. Create an inner world.
Yes, that's really the most important thing for me. And well, when you create from the heart, it's always from your inner world.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's also why your art is very warm. When I look at the colors that you use and the layering and the textures, it always feels like it's a very safe, comfortable kind of environment that you're creating. So it makes so much sense now to be able to see the work and what it means for you. Your colors and your choices make a lot of sense for me when I look at your work then.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's so good to hear. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So for people that are starting on a creative journey and are maybe not feeling as confident in their techniques or in their choices, in you know what it's like when you're starting out, like, is this the right color? What if I'm making a mistake using this supply? What advice would you give to people that are just starting out on their creative journey?
Well, I think, the creative path is both exciting, but also very challenging. And to expose your let's say, your inner self, because that's what you do when you're creating from within, to expose your inner self, it can be feel vulnerable. And it takes courage to expose it to the world when you do. But I think you have to trust the process, because as to creating, there is no such thing as failure or mistakes. I mean, you create, you make visible that part of yourself in a very special way. And I think we should embrace that, being creative. We should embrace it, no matter the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Process, right? It's about the process and what it gives you,
Yes.
not the results. Yeah.
No, not for me. Yeah. Because I'm not a painter who sells his paintings. Maybe then it's different, but I don't know. No, not for everyone, of course.
Yes, yeah. Okay. And before we started recording, we were talking a bit about the Netherlands, and you were saying it's the dark days before Christmas. And we were talking about the struggle of going through the winter. Have you seen how your creativity shifts through the different seasons? Does it look different at different times of the year?
Maybe not for someone else, but for me it does. I leave more white space because I need light and I need daylight to create. So right now that's pretty difficult. But yes, I don't use cold colors, which are blues. That doesn't feel right for me. It depresses me. And I'm very attracted to warm colors. So yes, that would be pink, brown, orange. Yes, and maybe the black will change into more brownish tones. Yes, absolutely. For me, it changes. At least the feeling I start, it changed. It's quite a shift for my inner feelings.
Yes, yes. It's fascinating. It's actually quite interesting how your environment and the seasons can have such a big impact on how we create and what our final results look like.
Yes, it is. Yes. And color is not a common thing. I mean, we when you look around, there's color everywhere. But color isn't a common thing. It's a phenomenon. I mean, we don't think about it that way, but it really is. And all the influence every single color has on our mind and feelings, that's huge.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. And you love color. I think we can say that you've got a passion for color.
Yes, absolutely.
How have you been able to sort of combine colors in a new way, or how has your relationship with colors been developed throughout your life and your practice?
Yes, I think the first time that I became aware of it was when I had drawing lessons with an artist who painted the most beautiful things. Very expressive, but also very warm and yes, amazing. And while drawing, I needed to draw some shadows, and in those shadows I put some colors. And then he said to me, "Well, I think that's amazing that you put some color and shadow." And shadow isn't one color. Shadow isn't gray. Shadow has a lot of colors. And well, he said, you have an extremely special vision on color. And
oh wow,
well, yeah, that's long ago. And And then one day I started to study color in many aspects, and I became a color consultant to advise people for interiors. So people asking me, okay, what color should I put on my walls? What color sofa should I buy? And from one came the other, and I had yes. Yes, I think and then I gave workshops to visualize what color can bring about in our minds. And so hoping to contribute to piece of awareness as it comes to color in general. And well, every day, again and again, it's important for me.
Oh, that's amazing. So color is really deeply rooted in how you think, feel, and express yourself.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So you've obviously done a lot of research on color, being able to present workshops and help people with choosing colors.
Yes.
What is, if someone is wanting to take this deep dive into color and to also extend their relationship with color, where would you suggest they start?
Well, I would suggest they take 3 colors, the 3 primary colors, and start mixing them. Start not to know. We all know that blue and yellow is green, but to mix 3 primary colors together and different quantities, it's very interesting to see what comes out, and the surprise and yeah, I think it's fascinating. It's just a little quantity, only 3 colors, and you can mix endlessly. And that's what I was doing these past weeks, all these color swatches. And just because I love seeing the paint flow and blend together, and it's like meditating, and from one comes the other. I mean, if you start mixing these colors, well, you will come to the conclusion: what do I love? What do I like about it? What's important for me in color? Or is it just a tool, and is someone else more attracted to shapes? Although I think that color and shape are inseparable.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, tell us more.
A round shape in orange would be different than a triangle. Just I think the round shape is more comfortable, and the triangle looks more like danger. Pay attention, or yes, and square. But maybe that's my feeling about it. I don't know. I didn't research that.
It's fascinating, but it's subjective too, right? Like with color, a shape can have a specific meaning for you that might be different for someone else. So it's fascinating to talk about these things and to be able to think, oh, I haven't thought, what does a triangle mean to me? Or how does rectangle feel as opposed to circle, right? It's really interesting to be able to talk about these things and explore them with each other.
Yes. So also explore different colors and different shapes.
That is so good. Yes. Because it's going to change. Like you say, it will change how that color looks and feels according to the shape.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. At least for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I love color mixing. I could do it for hours and days. As you say, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying to see a little bit of yellow, a lot of blue, add a dash of pink. What happens,
Yes, what happens?
So, yes, and as it's fantastic that you're saying it could become a meditation, because it feels like that's giving color mixing a deeper meaning within your life. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so have you got, do you like catalog the color mixing that you're doing, or is it just sort of free range on a scrap of paper, or is there a process?
No, there's no process at all. It's just intuitive, with no goal, just mixing and have different swatches. That's the only thing. A lot of different swatches.
Fantastic.
The more the better.
Yes, and obviously it's a relationship that you've developed over time, because you can now more or less know, if I mix these together, I'm leaning towards this way, and if I add this, I'm going a bit more in that way. So I think it's been a lot of learning that you've done with your mixing.
Yes, I think so too. It's the experimenting. But then when I'm creating in my journal, I don't use that method. I'm just playing.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So there's two separate things. Color mixing is one thing on its own, and your journal is completely different.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You know why I say I love it is because I've got a journal where I've just been mixing colors. Like that's all I've been doing.
Oh, wow.
And my husband said to me, you are going to use all the paint in that tray, because I'm using watercolors at the moment. He said to me, you're going to use all the watercolors and you're not going to have actually created anything.
Oh, yes, you have. You definitely have.
And it's a separate journal, right? So when I'm creating, I'm not mixing colors like that, but every day I'll go and sit and I will mix some colors together in my totally separate project of mixing the colors.
Wonderful.
So now I don't feel so strange, now that I know there's someone else in the world who's also doing this.
And it feels very rewarding to me. So
yes, right. I'm trying to explain to them like the satisfaction that you get from mixing colors. And he said to me, how many times have you actually mixed these colors together? Because I had them, like you say, I had them in squares. Now I'm doing them in a circular shape. And I'm just mixing them over and over. I said to him, well, if I can mix this color in my sleep one day, then I'll know I've mixed it enough. But until then, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Well, I hope you do.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no. So this is really exciting. It's so nice when you can find commonality, right? Sometimes you feel as though you're doing something on your own and you're not sure, like, is this worth pursuing? Am I wasting my time?
Yes.
This color mixing, like, is it really worth it? And so when I can talk to someone else who goes, oh, yes, I do that too, and I love it, and it's the process is rewarding. It feels like, okay, I'm on the right track. I can keep going. Just that affirmation that you get.
Yes, so true. Yes. And we often think about making art that it has to be something valuable and meaning of money. And that holds back a lot of people. And it held back myself too, because I didn't want people asking me, okay, what's the goal? What do you want to say? And so that's always, kind of painful. And that's also part of the thing that I would say to people who are hesitating to start. I mean, just listen to yourself. And it always is rewarding when you create. When you create from the heart, it's always rewarding.
Yeah. And that's the goal, right? That's more than the money, more than what you're spending. It's what it's giving back to you, which is the thing that really matters.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So do you like to participate in challenges? Do you often try and find challenges as a way to push your creativity forward?
In the past, I did many times. Let's say I tried, but I can't. I am very. It's difficult for me to finish a challenge, and so now I choose 2 or 3 a year, and so which are my favorite, and then that's okay for me. So then I know I'm dedicated, and because otherwise it's too much. There are so many challenges, and they're all interesting.
Yep.
But I just can't do them all.
Well, this is why I'm asking, right? Because I think especially in the beginning, there's so much stuff. There's classes, there's free challenges, there's always something happening. And so you, first of all, get scared that you're going to get left behind if you don't do all the things. And then the other thing is you take on so many different projects that you start to feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
So that's why I'm interested in how you are finding a balance between what you want to create and maybe participating in 1 or 2 challenges.
Yes.
It's important to also have that balance, I think.
Yes, for sure. And in the beginning, I think it's important to participate in challenges because you create with like-minded people. You meet other people. I think you should. You should participate in challenges, and then in the end, see what works for you.
Mm. Yeah, as you say, now you've got your favorites, right?
Yes.
So, which challenges can I ask you? Do you want to share with us? Which are your favorite, the highlight challenges that you look forward to?
Well, then the year will begin with Get Messy. The month of January, and I love that, and Messy May. And in the end of the year, which is coming now, our journal Advent.
Oh,
so
yes.
Those are the 3 challenges that and I enjoy the most. Yes.
Oh, I love those. All 3 of those are fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, and,
definitely highlights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you creating a journal for that challenge? Or how does that look?
Yes, I start creating a journal, but sometimes it happens that there's one day I create in another journal. But mostly, yes, I create a separate journal for the challenge, yes. Especially now for our journal Advent and is it the Junk Journal January?
Yes,
Yes,
Journal January.
yes. I think those 2 months especially are important to create in a journal I make before it starts. To end the year and to begin the year.
Yes, right. That's exactly how it feels. Like you're wrapping up one year and then starting the next year fresh again. That's beautiful. Yes. Have you got a preference? Do you like to work in handmade journals, or have you got a mix of ready bought journals and handmade ones? Which is your favorite?
No, I couldn't choose a favorite. Both work for me. I sometimes feel I have several on my desk, and some are bought from the store, and others I made myself. I have an altered book, so it's if it's a book,
depends
then
on
it's
the
okay.
project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe the feeling when I start, creating.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I'm asking the question because it's fascinating to see how I've spoken to some people and they're like, I've never, ever used a store-bought book.
Oh, and wow, that's wonderful.
Like I find that amazing, right? Because I love a good store-bought book too.
Me too.
So for me, I think it's good to have a mix, and other people are like, no, I've got a preference. So it's interesting.
Well, yes, it is. Yes. Well, there's so many possibilities.
Yes, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
makes it also special, right?
Yes.
So, my other favorite question to ask is if you could collaborate with an artist, living or dead, who would you want to collaborate with and why?
Okay. Yes. Well, I think that would be Georgia O'Keeffe. And to answer why, I think that's complicated because it's more than the artist. It's I to begin with, I admire her work. The bold shapes, only one bold element on a canvas. The way she details everything. Yes, that's so interesting. And well, the other thing about her is, she seems like a very powerful, strong woman to me, chasing her dream, which wasn't easy, especially at that time when she was living. But then the other thing is the fact that she lived in New Mexico, and that's I think that's, for me, it's a fascinating landscape. I love dry landscapes, and that's weird. People are asking me why do you like dry? You love to paint flowers, and yes, the dry thing, dry grasses, seed pods, dried leaves. That's something that attracts me. It maybe because it can stay forever. I can make a collection of it, and it's here on my desk. And so that New Mexico always has my fascination, and so I hope to visit one day. That's really on my wish list.
Yes.
So that's a weird combination. And another weird thing is that I have one of her biographies, and I bought it in 1998, I think, and I never finish it because I don't want to finish it. I want to hold on to it, and because it's such an interesting book, and for years it was on my night table, and I read just a little part of it, and I never finish it. It's on my bookshelf, and so I just want to hold on to that. So some things I can't explain, but. Yeah.
It's like visiting a friend, right? Every time you have a little snip in the book, It's like you've gone over for a cup of tea.
Oh, that's beautifully said. Yes, so beautiful.
I love that because she's obviously got a very strong connection, or you've got a very strong connection to her. So that's really beautiful to have an inspiration like that in your life, that influence. It's I'm sure it carries over into your work too.
Yeah, maybe not visually, but at least in
the boldness. Yes, in the feelings, right? Yes, definitely. Yeah. So do you ever experience periods where you feel that your creativity is a little lower, or that you have maybe sort of come to a point where you feel maybe frustrated with what you're creating, or you can feel that your work is moving in a different direction and you're a little unsure of how you're going to be moving forward?
Oh yes, definitely. When I have an in-person workshop, then I give it all in preparing, and I experiment and try a lot of things, and the day itself is always wonderful. It's amazing to connect with other people and create together. But afterwards, I just feel empty. It's just exhausted. And because I did all that effort in preparing, then I'm totally blank. And it takes me weeks to come over that. Yes, and that's when I get back to making color swatches and playing. Yes, and then it starts again. Yes, and frustrated it's yes, that that's something to overcome. We all can be frustrating while creating, and also. Yes, when I have too many ideas in my head, that's also frustrating.
Yeah. So so you say color swatching is one way that you are able to sort of start getting back to that feeling of creating. Have you got any other little tricks that you've got that help you to rejuvenate your creativity?
Yes, because I feel lost, really lost at that moment. I go back in older journals. And so then I can place myself back in those times. And when I look at the pages, then, yes, it all comes back to me. So, or go through magazines. It's helpful too for me. Just inspiration.
Yeah. Well, I can attest to this deep pouring out. I think that's what I've written down here, is that you do a deep pouring out when you're teaching, right? You can... In your videos and in how you're explaining and the process, you can see that it's really come from deep within you and you're giving everything you've got. It's beautiful to watch. But I think I can imagine it's a struggle to return after that again.
Yes. But, it's part of the process too.
Yes. Yeah. It's almost like every time you go deeper and you come up again, you can go a little deeper the next time.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So it's a process that, even though it is painful, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is painful to experience that emptiness at the end of it. But you know that once you've filled up your well again, you've got the strength to go even further down the next time, which is also...
That's so true. Yes, it's also that's maybe a learning curve.
Yes.
That experience makes you can make you feel stronger. Okay, I can do that. Yes, you said that so well, so beautifully. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's an insight for me.
I'm glad I could share some wisdom too. You've got such a calming presence, right? It just, one feels absolutely, again, it comes back to this warmth and this coziness that you've been able to foster in your approach, in your creativity. It's really something special.
Oh, well, I feel it's likewise, because it's so nice to talk to you. And there's something peaceful over you while talking. So, well, that's what I need. I couldn't do this with anyone. So, because we've met together before, I know who you are. And so this is less of a challenge for me. So that makes me feel at ease more.
Yeah, it's beautiful to have community, right? Where we can, I think that's what makes me excited about community and about being able to connect with other artists, is you connect with people that you feel like-minded and that you feel instantly like there's something that you get that other people might not understand.
Yes.
And then you can hold each other's hands and say, hey, I'm going to do this big scary thing. Do you want to come along? Let's jump off together and see what happens.
Yes, so true. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're alone, you might not have the courage to say, I'm going to go for it. But maybe there's something to be said in finding someone within your community that you
Oh,
can
yes.
say, hey, this is my dream. Have you got some, do you want to try with me? Let's see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I think it's important too when you start, where we talked about already, but when you start just taking classes, and that's giving you insights and also about other people's thinking, and not only the possibilities of and talking about art, but also about people's thinking, people's ideas, and that can take away the fear of starting.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing with taking classes is, again, you're seeing people that have got the same interests, right? So you're
Yes.
able to then make new connections, because you might see someone else's work that's busy doing the same class as you and think, oh, I
Yes.
love that. And it's a new way of finding people that understand you and that you can
Yes.
relate to.
Very important. Yes, because create on your own, it's kind of lonely, can be kind of lonely.
Yeah.
Yes. Just to exchange thoughts about what keeps you busy, practical or in your head. It's very important while creating. Yes.
Yeah. And to get you out of your comfort zone sometimes. Sometimes you need somebody to sort of nudge you and say, hey, let's try something new, or
Yes.
I'm doing this challenge too. Can we do it together? That might just be the thing that you need to get you through the challenge instead of halfway through,
Yeah, sure. Yes, that's a very important thing too. And then you're strengthening each other. So
Yeah.
yes, very important.
I love that. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Gabrielle. It has been an absolute pleasure.
No, for me too. Yes, a great pleasure. Thank you so much, Claudette, for making this possible.